Good morning. I got the fancy coffee cup this morning. Happy Thursday. So why do we talk about all these things like the seasons and the last couple of topics that we've been discussing? What does that do? How is that helpful for us? Well, let's remember the basics here. There's really two things that are the keys to living a happy, successful quality of life. And number one is by far the most important, and that is state management. The ability to manage your state in tough times decides everything. If you have that, you've got everything. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. And number two is who you surround yourself with is who you become. So all of these idea of the seasons and all of these other metaphors that we use, talking about being grateful, talking about when we exchange our expectation for appreciation, all of that stuff helps you manage your state. And if you don't manage your state in difficult times, then you focus on what you would call a failure, or you focus on things not going your way, and then that destroys drive. I mean, the great thing about discipline is discipline allows you to accomplish little things each day, and that's going to create confidence. That's going to create drive, because then at the end of the day, you can look back and say, well, I did this and this and this and this, and it's going to give you more drive to work towards the next day. So, that's one of the great benefits of discipline is that it does really encourage you to get things done. And when you get things done, you just feel more confident, even if something else in another area doesn't work out. So that's one of the great patterns of discipline. If you don't maintain that positive outlook towards stuff, then it destroys confidence and it destroys drive. It makes it so that you're just not as motivated to do things. If all you do is focus on the things that have gone wrong, well, your motivation isn't going to be as high. That's the reason that optimists are so much more successful overall than pessimists. Optimists will do things that don't work out more. Absolutely. They'll take more chances and they'll have more failures. But they don't see them as failures. They see them as learning. And because they keep trying, they keep moving forward. But the real point is they lead a happier quality of life. The pessimist always lives in fear. And the optimist always lives in the possibility. Now, they might have, be pie-eyed in the sky, that phrase. But if you're around an optimist, they'll only talk to you about their successes. They'll only talk to you about how things are going to go well. And, should optimism be balanced by judgment? Of course. And if you can do that, then you're going to have success even better. But the optimist wakes up every day thinking about these are the things that can happen today. And these are the things that I'm going to try today. And that's the person that's going to have more success and live a more fulfilled quality of life, always. The pessimist wakes up and thinks about the things that aren't going to work out today, or why I'm not going to do these things because it's not going to work. Well, what do they end up doing? Then they end up doing nothing. And if they don't even try, then now at the end they'll say, well, see, but it didn't work out for that person. Thank God I didn't do that. So their day only is a good day when they can live on somebody else's failure. That's the only time that they can look at themselves and say, well, today went well. Because I'm a pessimist, I decided not to do these things because typically they don't work out. So when somebody else's life doesn't work out, that's when I get to be happy. Well, is that really a great way to go? I mean, we haven't had the chance to watch professional athletes over the last several months, which is really a bummer in a bunch of different ways. But one of the things a professional athlete has to have, sometimes it is 4:30 in the morning, is they have to have a short memory. The professional athlete that will only focus on when things didn't go well for them never has a chance to make it, because that's what they're going to think about. If you're going into the final game and you've got to put yourself in a state that you're going to be victorious, and your last performance wasn't that great, and that's what you're basing your belief system on, well, you're not gonna have a great deal of confidence, and confidence then dictates the effort that you're going to put forth. You're not going to have a great deal of effort. And if you don't have that great deal of effort, then your outcome isn't going to be as great, and it's going to be that cycle that we've talked about. Jack Nicklaus, one of the greatest assets that he had was he never remembered a bad shot at the end of a round. The guy physically couldn't remember it. I mean, it was amazing. Go back and watch some of the old interviews of him on YouTube, and they'll ask him, Jack, what happened on that second shot on number 5? And he'll look up and he'll go, oh, I don't remember that shot, but I remember my third shot on 4. I mean, the guy physically cannot remember the bad shots. You know, I'm moving into my new office here in Freeport in a couple of days. And it's a great time to redo everything, right? To go through everything, to redo everything. It's a beautiful time to kind of for a new rebirth. And so I'm changing all my artwork because the stuff that I have in my office now really just isn't reflective of where I'm at in life anymore. And I did a Michael Jordan poster. I did a beautiful Michael Jordan poster where it talks about, all of the times that he failed, how he got cut from his high school team, how he wasn't drafted first in the draft, he was drafted third, how 26 times he was given the ball to shoot the last second shot and missed. Nobody talks about that stuff. Nobody talks about the games that he had where he couldn't hit the entire backboard. I mean, he had times where things just didn't go well, but rather than those times destroying them, they drove him. So my message for you today is, let's remember the fundamental basics of what all of this is really about. It is about state management. If you can manage your state in tough times, then you're going to have a high quality of life. No matter what you decide to do, that's going to decide the quality of your life, because the ability to do that will be the ability to then have a response to things that works in a positive way as opposed to destroys. Pain is not here to hurt us or destroy us. Pain is here to drive us. And we can look at it as a jailer, or we can look at it as a motivator. And the successful people of the world look at it as a motivator. They look at it as a way to give them fuel to go to the next level. And when something doesn't go right, they take that as an opportunity to manage themselves to the next state. And yeah, there might be an initial knee-jerk reaction, but how many of us have had a reaction with a child that we regret, that we wish we would have managed our state better? And how many times was it something that we took it wrong, and actually the kid really didn't do anything wrong? But even if they did, we would have liked to have managed our state better in that situation. Well, that is all true for the rest of your life. So the reason that you watch motivational videos like this, the reason that you listen to guys like Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and all of these guys, is because they'll keep you in a positive, motivated state where you look at life as the glass is half full. And when you do that, that's going to increase drive. That increases confidence, because when you increase drive, you go at things at a different level. You work at things harder. You see them working out, which means you put forth more effort. And when you put forth more effort, you get a better result. And when you get a better result, then you become more confident and more optimistic about how life goes. And it's a cycle. It's just like my merry-go-round on the playground. Think about it this way. The more effort that you put forth, the better the likelihood that you're going to get the result that you want. The more you can see that outcome is possible, the more likely that it's going to work out that way. Athletes that are successful, they only see it working out. And they actually burn their bridges and make it so that the only option that it has for them is that it will work out. Wayne Gretzky used to be able to see the puck going into the net before he took his shot. Incredibly powerful. But that vision that they have is exactly what makes them so great. So that's why we do all of this stuff. We do all this stuff to manage our state so that we can only see things working as opposed to not working. So that way, even if it doesn't work out the way that you want, your response to that isn't disastrous. You don't just, it doesn't make it so that you lay in bed for 3 days. You want to be the person that looks at it and says, okay, great, awesome. Now we learn from that and now we move forward and we respond in that fashion. So remember the fundamentals as to where all this is. Maybe we should go back and over the next few days talk about all of that again. Because state management, the ability to maintain that focus, is the key to all of this. So that's why we say these phrases. That's why we do all of these things that we do, is because it helps manage our state. And if you can manage your state, you can have a beautiful quality of life. It's your choice as to whether or not you live life in a beautiful state or you live life in suffering. That's our choice. Have a great Thursday, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.